Okay, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Welcome again to our channel, Sir Lopez Vlog. Sa araw na ito, tatalakay naman natin ang subject na obligation and contract. Outside criminology world naman tayo kasi may mga estudyante tayo na galing sa ibang kurso, particularly on the BSBA. So, criminology, dagdagan ang iyong kalaman sa topic na magagaling sa ibang kurso. Kung ready na kayo, start na natin ang ating talakayan sa araw na ito. Okay, so ang title ng subject matter natin ngayong araw ay Obligation and Contract. Ang tatalakayin lang natin ay yung konsepto nito as a preliminary discussion sa ating subject matter. So ano bang ibig sabihin ng obligation? Ang salitang obligation ay galing sa dalawang salita, ob at saka ligare. Nang ibig sabihin ay to bind or to tie together. Pero ang salitang obligation ay mayroon siyang specific meaning sa ating batas. Mababasa natin ito sa Article 1156 of the New Civil Code. Basahin natin. Article 1156. An obligation is a juridical necessity to give, to do, or not to do. Napaka-simpleng definition ng obligation. Very easy to memorize. What is obligation? Obligation is a juridical necessity to give, to do, or not to do. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng juridical necessity? So sa araw-araw nating pamumuhay, may mga obligasyon tayo. Mag-umpisa na sa ating bahay. May kumain, maligo, matulog, mag-cellphone, etc. Maglaba. Ito yung mga example ng obligation. Pero ang tanong, are they considered juridical? So ano bang ibig sabihin ng juridical necessity as provided under 1156? Kapag sinabi natin juridical necessity connotes that in case of non-compliance, there will be legal sanctions. So yun palang ibig sabihin ng juridical necessity. Kung sakali man na hindi tumupad ang isang tao sa kanyang obligasyon, pwede natin itong abulin sa korte. Okay. Para tayo ay mag-demand ng damages. So ano bang ibig sabihin ng damages? Damages are the sum of money given as a compensation for the injury or harm suffered by the obligee for the violation of his right. So take note also yung mga term na gagamitin natin dito, obligee, obligor, debtor, creditor. Dapat sa inyo pa lang alam nyo na ang ibig sabihin nito. We have different kinds of obligations. From the viewpoint of sanction, meron tayong kasi dyan. Una, yung civil obligation. Pangalawa is yung natural obligation. Kapag sinabi nating civil obligation, that defined in Article 1156. An obligation, if not fulfilled, when it becomes due in the vulnerable, may be enforced in court through action based on law. The sanction is judicial due process. Ito yung mga juridical necessity to give, to do, or not to do. Ang tawag natin sa obligasyon nito is a civil obligation. Kung hindi tumupad yung obligor dito, we can go after him in court. Yung isa naman yung natural obligation. Ano ba itong natural obligation? A special kind of obligation which cannot be enforced in court but which authorizes the retention of the voluntary payment or performance made by the debtor based on equity and natural law. Okay? Example natin dito, when there is a prescription of duty to pay Still, the obligor paid is due to the obligee. The obligor cannot recover his payment even there is already prescription. The sanction is the law, but only conscience had originally motivated by the payment. Kasi kapag nag-prescribe na yung obligation mo to pay, hindi ka na kahabulin ng batas dyan. Pero it is your option to pay your creditor kahit nag-prescribe na yan, base sa iyong konsensya. Kung sakali mang nagbayad ka sa iyong creditor, hindi mo na ito mababawi. Okay? Ang reason dito is due to equity, para hindi naman unfair sa creditor na nagpautang sa iyo. Okay? So that is meant by a natural obligation. It cannot be enforced in law. But if you do it by reason of your conscience, you can no longer recover it. The third one is the moral obligation. The sanction is conscience or morality or the law of the church. Okay? So ito yung pangatlong kinds of obligation when it comes to sanction. Another kind of obligation naman, from the viewpoint of subject matter, meron tayong dalawa dito. Real obligation and personal obligation. So, the obligation to give ay tinatawag nating real obligation, at yung obligation to do or not to do, tinatawag naman natin itong personal obligation. We will discuss that in details as we go on our discussion. Tulad na sabi ko, ang topic natin ngayong araw is the general provisions of the law. Ito muna yung kabuuan ng subject matter natin. Wala pa tayo sa specific discussion. Present lang natin yung mga bagay-bagay na ating tatalakayin in the future. Okay, so another kinds of obligation based on negativeness or affirmativeness. Sabi natin positive or affirmative obligation, that is the obligation to give or to do. Kapag sinabi naman natin negative obligation, it is the obligation not to do, which naturally includes not to give. In an obligation, there are 4 essential requisites. But in other reference, sinama nila yung post, kaya they have a total of 5. Pero sa reference na ginagamit natin, there are 4 essential requisites. Ibig sabihin, kapag merong obligation, meron dapat ang mga bagay na ito. Una, meron tayong tinatawag na active subject. Itong mga active subject na ito ay sila yung mga taong entitled to demand the fulfillment of the obligation. He who has a right. Sila yung mga may karapatan. Sila yung mga tao na nabigyan ng karapatan to demand the fulfillment of an obligation. Ang tawag natin sa kanila is active subject. These active subjects are always a person, either natural or juridical. Okay? Kapag sinabi nating natural person, ito yung ating personality, ito yung mga tao, halimbawa Pedro, Juan, yan, tulad natin, okay? Mayroon tayong sariling pagkatao. Pag sinabi naman nating juridical person, ito yung mga entity, they have separate personality from the owner. Halimbawa itong mga companies, yan, bus company for example. So take note, sa katawagan natin sa active subject, if the obligation is to give, ang tawag natin ay creditor. If the obligation is to do or not to do, ang tawag natin naman sa active subject ay obligee. Okay, another essential requisites of an obligation, ito yung pangalawa. Kung mayroon tayong tinatawag na active subject, mayroon din tayong tinatawag na passive subject. Sino ba itong mga passive subject na ito? The person who is bound to the fulfillment of the obligation. He who has a duty. Okay? Yung active subject kanina, kung matatandaan nyo, he who has the right to demand. Itong passive subject naman, he who have the duty. He who have the obligation. He who have the fulfillment of the obligation. If the obligation is to give, ang tawag natin sa kanila is debtor. If the obligation naman is to do or not to do, ang tawag naman natin sa kanila ay obligor. Yan. So, dapat familiar kayo sa mga term na ito. Sa mga discussion natin in the future, magagamit na natin ang mga term na yan. So, sa ngayon pa lang, dapat you have now consider to memorize the meaning. Okay, pangatlo is the object of the obligation, or sa other reference, itong ating object or prestation. Okay. Itong pangatlong requisite na ito is referring to the subject matter of the obligation. That is the conduct to be done by the debtor or obligor. Okay? Ano ba yung sinabi natin kanina? That is the obligation to perform, to give, to do, or not to do. So this is the third essential requisite. Ang tawag natin dito is object or prestation. For example, in the contract of sale, the object of the obligation dito is the delivery of the car. And the object of the prestation dito is the car. So that is the third requisite. Number 4, we have the juridical or legal tie. Ito sometimes yung tinatawag nating vinculum juris. Okay. Vinculum juris. This is also called efficient cause. That which binds or connect the parties to the obligation. The tie in an obligation can easily be determined by knowing the source of the obligation. Okay, so alamin mo lang kung ano yung source of obligation, and that is referring to a juridical tie. That is the fourth elements of the obligation. Okay, alamin natin, ano ba yung mga sources of obligation? Ito yung tinatawag nating juridical or legal tie. Ito yung nagbubuklod sa creditor at saka sa debtor. Okay, one of the sources of obligations as provided under Article 1157 of the New Civil Code, one is law. There are certain obligations imposed by law to us. For example, we are required to pay our taxes. So it is our obligation to pay taxes. Okay? Tax, ito yung buwis. Okay? Obligasyon natin yan. Okay? Ano yung source of that obligation? Batas. So yung batas mismo ang nagsabi na kung umabot sa specific amount required by law na kailangan na nating mag-tax, kailangan na nating itong bayaran. Kasi yan ang sinasabi ng batas. Okay? I repeat, that source of obligation is law. Number 2, contracts. Okay? So we will discuss in detail later on yung contracts. Yung kontrata, yung tinatawag nating stipulation of the parties. Ito yung agreement ng magkabilang partido. For example, a contract of sale of a particular car. Okay? So the seller has the obligation to deliver the car to the buyer. So what is the source of that obligation? That is contract. That is the contract of sale. Dahil sa contract of sale yan, obligado yung seller na gawin ang bagay na sinasaad sa kanilang kontrata. That is to deliver the car. The source of that obligation is what we call contract. Quasi-contract. Ano ba itong quasi-contract? Yung quasi-contract arising from lawful, voluntary, and unilateral acts which are enforceable to the end that no one shall be unjustly enriched or benefited at the expense of another. Walang dito, wala kayong agreement dito. Kaya lang, by reason of voluntary or unilateral act, it is enforceable in the sense that no one shall be enriched themselves at the expense of another. So halimbawa, may nagbigay sa iyo ng pera, knowing na ikaw yung creditor o yung nagpautang. Okay? Since wala ka namang pinautang sa kanya, okay, you are obliged to return the money. So obligasyon mo na ibalik sa kanya yung pera. Kung hindi mo ibabalik yan, then of course, they can go after you because that is an obligation for you to do based on a quasi-contract. This is to ensure that no one shall be enriched at the expense of another. Next is the fourth source of an obligation is the acts or omission punished by law. Ito yung tinatawating delicts. This obligation arises from civil liability, which is the consequence of the commission of the crime. Okay? Automatically, kapag gumawa tayo ng krimen at napatunayan dito na guilty tayo, mayroon tayong obligation to pay for the civil indemnity. Obligasyon natin na bayaran yung mga damyos sa ating biktima. Okay? Ang source of that obligation ay tinatawating delicts or acts or omission punished by law under 1157 of the New Civil Code. The last source of obligation is the quasi-delicts. Okay? Ang tawag natin nito is negligence. Kapareho rin ito ng number 4 na delicts. Ang pagkakaiba nga lamang dito sa number 4, ang pagkagawa ng krimen ay talagang sinadya. Dito naman sa delicts, dito naman sa quasi-delict, ang pagkagawa ng krimen ay hindi sinasadya. Kaya lang, because of your negligence, you are still liable under the law. And as a consequence, we are obliged to pay for the damages. Okay? We are obliged to pay for the civil indemnity against the victim. Obligasyon natin yan as provided by law under 1157 number 5. By reason of negligence, we causes damage to another, we are obliged to satisfy their demands. Okay? So ito yung kabuuan ng ating pagtalakay sa araw na ito. Ulit natin, ang topic natin ngayong araw ay yung kabuuang konsepto lamang. We will go into details as we go on in our next episode. So, tandaan lang natin ang ating lesson sa araw na ito. Una, yung essential requisites of the obligations. Meron tayong 5 dyan. Pero yung ibang reference, 4 lang nilagay dyan. Okay? Passive subject, active subject, prestation, at saka yung vinculum juris or juridical tie. Yung ibang reference, naglagay sila ng pang-5, that is host. Okay? Then, tandaan din natin yung sources of obligation. Number 1, law. Number 2, contract. Number 3, quasi-contracts. Number 4, acts or omissions punished by law. O ito yung delicts or crime. And number 5, yung quasi-delicts or yung negligence. Okay? So, sa susunod, we will go down into details about that obligation. Okay? Bago tayo magtapos sa araw na ito, nais natin mag-iwan ng kaunting katanungan. Number 1, may a person incur obligation even without entering into any contract or voluntary agreement? Explain. Number 2, D borrowed 10,000 pesos from C On the due date of the loan, D could not pay C because he lost to a robber the 10,000 pesos intended for C. In addition, he suffered financial reverses and he was short of cash even for his current family's need. Is D legally justified to refuse to pay C? Explain or state briefly the reason of your answer. Number 3, why are obligations under the Civil Code a juridical necessity? Explain. Obligation. Okay? So hanggang sa muli, maraming salamat. Magandang araw po sa inyo lahat.